just bought this aquarium fully set up as it is for 150 bucks. I know, it's killer, right? So it's a 260 liter jewel kit. You can see, I just found out that that heater is not supposed to be free floating there. It's supposed to be in that canister to the right. The guy didn't have a sponge filter. I added it in. So when I moved this thing, it took about an hour in the car. So I kept 50 to 60% of the water. I kept all the rocks wet, the plants wet, the gravel wet to keep as much as the good bacteria as possible. I have to call the guy back to see what his readings are normally. Yes, he has 4 bala sharks in there, and this tank is too small. I just found that out looking on the internet, and I don't know what to call those other 2 angel-like fish things over there. So this is like the 4th day since it was set up, and I'm kind of starting to freak out because of the reading. So yesterday I took a test and I had 18 in nitrates. I was kind of surprised after 60% water change. Nitrite 0.25, GH7, KH10, chlorine 0.8, and CO2 -15. So I'm in, you know, the orange and the red and the green lines. The pH was 7.6. So I added a bunch of my Tetra Aquasafe again for the entire volume, just in case, you know, something squeaked by. And my fish were gasping a lot, not a lot, a little bit. You can see them still doing it, so I was worried about them. I put that in, and 24 hours later I tested again, and wow, my nitrate is up to 50. The nitrite is the same. The GH went up to 14, the KH went up to 15, and now my pH is at 7.8, and the chlorine increased. So I have no idea what the hell is going on. It seems like the filter is not working at all. So now I would do a total, you know, huge water change. I guess from what everybody's saying, the guy gave me, you know, a little extra carbon filter and stuff, so I'll just throw that in there. And I also just watched the Pond Guru's Pimp Your Filter, so I'm going to pimp that thing out right now. I only have lava rock right now. The stores are closed, and I have to get these levels down now, right? Because otherwise my fish are going to be dead. So I'm going to spend the next couple of hours pimping out this filter with lava rock, and do a water change and see what happens. As I said in the video, I'm going to put this all together, so I'm pimping out the filter now. I just went out into the garden in front of my house and pulled out all this lava rock, rinsed it off because it's an emergency situation. The guy who sold me the tank and the fish has a brand new, what's it called, a biocarb by Jewel, so I'm rinsing it in tank water, I guess. And here's the Jewel filter, and I'm gonna pip it out with his rocks. Oh yeah, so you can see just in the 3 days this thing is fully blocked, so that's not doing anything. That was on top. And then the next thing was, I guess that's the biocarb because it's the black course. And then that might be the medium course blue one. Another medium course blue one. Some shelf. Coarser. Coarser. And then another shelf, and that's it. There's no side stirrups. Would you call them stirrups? There are no stirrups in this to hold bags of media, so I'm just gonna dump the rock in there and dunk the volcanic rock in there, and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I'm using my, where'd it go? Yeah, it really was, you know. Garden rock. Here's the garden trowel. And loading up. Now there's it filled up to that hole. You see that hole right there? That goes into the pump chamber. So I guess I can fill it up to those, see those two little nodes right there? That's the first shelf. So I guess I could fill it up there if the rocks can't block that hole, because then it won't pull water in. So I guess I can't fill it up there. But if I had a bag, I could put a bag right there. Maybe I'll try that. I'll see if I can find one. I think there was one that came with my old kit. Okay, so you see the black right on top of the rocks because I have more space, but I don't have bags and I don't want to block that hole. And I have the extra filter, so maybe that's not a big deal, but it'll keep the rocks in place there. And I have the new activated carbon filter. So I put that grate right in there on top of the next level. Is that a bad idea? Does it put too much space in there? And then I'm going to put the fine, and then the medium, and then the coarse, and see if it comes up to the level of the pump where it's supposed to be. I'll go look at the video because I forgot how high the sponges are supposed to come up. I'll be right back. Okay, so the foam are a little thick, so it's a little above that area. It's below that, and it's right at the level of those two holes on the side that pull water in, and I guess that's supposed to drip water on top of that. So I don't know, it should be okay. You tell me, should I cut that foam in half and bring it down to the level of that little wall right there? I don't know. And look, see, there's space in between everything, so I don't know how I was going to catch everything. Alright, okay, I pimped my filter ghetto style. Garden lava rocks, garden trowel. The old double sponges that Pond Guru talked about. Said double of those. And I followed his order of bio gravel. I didn't have bags, so I just filled it up to that first hole. And then I did a sack full of lava rock, and then put the carbon patch, and then the fine patch, and then the medium patch, and the coarse patch. I just stuck with patch because even though you know I need foams, and now I have to put it back in the tank real fast and see what happens because of all my crazy high levels of this brand new setup transferred from the house established for years and years tank that has out of control. Okay, I put it in. I put the heater in that slot because that's what the Pond Guru said during his video, and I'll have to call the guy because I haven't been able to get in touch with him to find out about his prior readings, if he tested his tank at all, if he stuck the heater there because it didn't come with the suction cup. So anyways, it's going there, and I don't have to stack it full of stack rocks against it to keep it there, so I guess I can put it there. Is it a problem because this one isn't glued? There's space between there. I don't have little fish, but those angel fish like things, maybe they could squeeze back there, so I guess I'll have to do something. Is this pump just one speed? I can't find anything on it to change the flow. From what Pond Guru said on this video, these things can only handle about 150, 160 liter tanks, but this one came stock in a 260 liter tank. So what's that mean for me? And is there an adjustment on here I can't spot? Alright, thanks. I'm going to stick this in, and it's a tight squeeze to put that filter, that sponge filter there that's a little too thick for that pump, and to keep the heater there. And the heater is going to be touching plastic. Is that a bad thing? Let me know, because I'm close. Okay, I took the heater out and I jammed the pump in there with the sponge filter, and maybe I don't have to cut it in half, or maybe it's better to cut it in half so there's no tension on the pump. Okay, so the lava rock is down in the bottom of the Joule filter. I pimped my filter. I changed the sponges like I was supposed to. I probably should cut that other one lengthwise in half, but I was just trying to get everything done. I found out that the heater does go in that side column, but with the filter pad being a little too thick, I'm going to have to cut the filter pad and then stick it back in there. So I talked to the owner. Now you're going to trip out. Although this won't surprise you. The owner told me for years, this could be, he said he's done fish for 20 years, and the last 13 years that he is retired, he would never say how many years he had this tank, and I forgot to ask him, but he said he never tested the water, and then he said he never used a gravel vac, and what he did instead was he would take a little bit of the gravel, up to, I don't know, quarter inch, siphon it out, and then clean it with tap water and bleach, and then put it back in there. He said he would change the water every 3 weeks or so, about a fourth or a third. And this is, officially a 260-liter tank, but with all those rocks and stuff that he has in there. And those rocks are actually from the mountains in the Pyrenees. He just picked those up and stuck them in the tank. So I don't know what those rocks are doing, but he's had them there. I'm leaving them in there just because they have all the good bacteria on them, and as I told you about the parameters, they're not looking good at all. He said that the scalaires usually eat up on top, and the bala sharks eat sometimes on top and sometimes on the bottom. He says they don't, they move around when you come by, but otherwise they're rather mellow. That could be because his water parameters have been, stressing him out for years. Unless he, like everybody says, there's no way that little built-in filter there, it achieved a full cycle to keep everybody happy in there. He says he turns on the lights 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. I have to look up to see what it's supposed to be. And then that's it. He had a bottle of something that Tetra made called Easy Balance that claims that if you, put it in there in your tank, that it'll nuke all the nitrates and nitrites and everything else that's not good, so you don't have to do a water change except for every 6 months. And then it says every 6 months do a 50 to 75% water change, and then add this stuff back in, or every week that you do a water change, add some of this in. But so I treated the entire tank for it. It's really old, so I don't know if it's chemically inert or anything, but it was a free bottle of it, and like I told you, the readings are all sky high here. So anyways, that's what I did. I'm not sure how long I'm supposed to wait before the aquarium reaches an equilibrium. I don't know. I'll have to read that bottle again, but I figure 1 to 3 days for the easy balance and the water change and the pile of lava rock that I put in the bottom of the filter. And I don't know if I should gravel vac the gravel right now, because I don't know how much of the good and bacteria died on the way over here, even though I kept all the gravel wet. And I don't know if it's not a good idea for me to gravel it. He said he never graveled it, so it hasn't been graveled for years. It's fairly compact gravel. He calls it sand, so maybe it is sand, but it's not fine-grained sand. So maybe that's not a big deal, but since I moved it all and stirred it all up, it's either all in the water now, which is most likely the case, and which may be the reason for all the spikes in everything. But the fact of the matter is, the guy said he didn't test the water ever. So I didn't think about it, I should have tested the water in his tank so I could have a baseline as to what their conditions were before I pulled them over here. So anyways, I'm trying to follow all your advice and everything.